Another slightly different line read from Sokka in the recap this time. Here's the first time he's talking about their doomed escape from the invasion.
How are we all gonna escape?
And here it is in the recap.
How are we all gonna escape?
Okay, well, I can't remember how it starts, but the punchline is, leave me alone. I'm Bush.
Zuko only served Haru and the Duke so far, but Katara already has a cup for some reason in this shot, before she's actually served 2 shots later.
Maybe that's because he remembers the whole thing.
I also like that Katara serves Zuko a slightly less serious roasting here, so much so that Zuko can even take it in stride. Seems almost like she's warming up to him the way she delivers it, but we'll get around to that later. Also, seems like Zuko's tea-making skills got an upgrade from working at Pow's in the Jasmine Dragon. No one's spitting it out at least, or throwing it out windows, though there are no windows in the immediate vicinity.
It's not good, Sokka. Please. My guess is they were taken to the Boiling Rock.
Zuko's largely wrong here, actually. Hakoda doesn't even show up at the Boiling Rock until days after the fact. So where did the rest of the crew get taken? To the same prison Iroh was in, just outside of the capital? Well, yeah, actually, that probably is the answer.
So where is this place?
It's in the middle of a volcano between here and the Fire Nation.
Zuko's wording brings up a strange point here. On the map, each of the air temples are in their own assigned air nomad territory. But after the Fire Nation killed all the air nomads, they didn't take this land for themselves? The guys who are actively annexing Earth Kingdom land while there's plenty of Earth Kingdomers still around? Zuko phrases it as if this isn't Fire Nation land, so whose land is it? It's not mine, I'll tell you that much. I like this little detail of Toph having her feet up here as to not notice Sokka sneaking off, but also we've been shown countless times it doesn't need to be her feet that feel the vibrations for her to see, though they probably are the most sensitive, and she's sleeping, so it's still a nice touch. Wait, is this a new Sokka bag? Whatever happened to his Earth Kingdom bag? Or Old Faithful Blue Zigzag? That was still hanging around for a while? Man, I hate new bag.
Not up to anything, huh?
Okay, I mean, I reckon Toph would feel that if she felt Combustion Man coming while she was asleep. Or maybe someone would just hear that with their ears, like their normal ears.
Fine. You caught me. I'm gonna rescue my dad. You happy now?
I'm never happy.
I have to regain my honor. You can't stop me, Zuko.
You need to regain your honor? Believe me, I get it. I'm going with you.
I like that Zuko actually steps into the role of Iroh here in more than just a jokey sense later in the episode. This is the exact situation Iroh was faced with when Zuko was banished, and he stepped up for him. So now, Zuko trying to emulate his uncle and what he stands for feels like he should fill this role for someone else, and that's a really cool beat in Zuko's arc.
How are you going to get there? On Appa?
This is the first time Zuko ever says Appa, I'm pretty sure. Every other episode he just says the bison, or even last episode he called him this thing.
I don't know why, but I thought this thing would be a lot faster.
Do 20 sets of fire fists and 10 hot squats every time you hear a badger frog croak.
Nobody else has homework.
No one else has to fight fucking fire-bending Mike Tyson.
I already know how to squat and breathe and feel the sun. I want to know how to shoot fire out of my fingertips.
You know, a friend of mine actually designed these war balloons.
Thank you. Even Sokka agrees with me. He doesn't even take credit for the air balloons. Got him, so right now.
Yep. A balloon. But for war.
I don't know of any balloons not for war in this show, actually. Were there even any at the Fire Days Festival? Nope, I checked. Balloons are exclusively weapons of death in this world.
I think your uncle would be proud of you. Leaving your home to come help us? That's hard.
Once again, I just love when two characters can just be earnest and be friends in this show. It does it so well. Even the vibe of two characters getting to know each other is captured really well in this scene.
My first girlfriend turned into the moon.
That's rough, buddy.
What can I say? What can I say that hasn't already been said? It's genius. The lack of Zuko even asking for context, just accepting this completely insane statement for fact, and just simply agreeing and being like, yeah, wow, man, that sucks, is comedy gold.
There it is. There's plenty of steam to keep us covered.
Damn, that's lucky, actually, seemingly. For the rest of the time you're there, it's clear skies.
We're going down. The balloon's not working anymore.
The air outside is just as hot as the air inside, so we can't fly.
You win again, gravity.
Oh, so what are we supposed to do?
Wait, what? How'd you get over there? I mean, how did Zuko get over here? What? Add another on the list of Sokka refusing to keep his mouth shut in awful situations. You'd think he'd learn.
My dad might be here. I had to come and see.
Uncle always said I never thought things through.
He did say that, verbatim, actually.
You never think these things through.
There's a lot of strange jumps in logic these two episodes take. Like, we got to commercial here, and then we're just supposed to accept that these two snuck into the prison somehow and stole some guard uniforms. Sneaking in would be just as hard as sneaking out, right? Or at least pretty close. This is an enormous part of this mission that just gets hand-waved away, but it's kind of hard to notice since we just move on so quickly.
Guards! There's a scuffle in the yard. Come on!
Yeah, all 30 of us guards who are running in alternating order of short and tall need your help, shortest guards of all. Damn, Chitsang just did some waterbending shit here. Not often do you see a firebender catch someone's fire and throw it back.
Hey, new guy. I know it's the rule to have your helmet on at all times, but this is the lounge. Relax.
Speaking of the helmets, once again we're met with some more fire imagery. The eye holes and this third hole on the forehead all add up to some vague reference to the shape of fire, if you ask me.
No, you can't date the female guards.
Trust me, you don't want to.
Ow, fuck, dude. For some reason I always thought this was like a bread roll or something she tossed at him, but she just domed him in the temple with a cup.
The boiling rock. It holds the Fire Nation's most dangerous criminals, right? So what about war prisoners?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, very young new guy that refuses to take his helmet off suspiciously. I'm happy to get into it.
It sure looks cold in there.
That's why we call it the cooler. He won't be firebending in there.
That's an interesting point you've brought up, guard man. So that would lead me to believe firebending uses some sort of ambient heat in the environment, or one's own body heat. But we've also seen Zuko come out of Arctic waters and use his breath of fire to heat himself back up. He even does the same thing in this episode. So I guess this must be some pretty advanced shit, right? If this is the highest level of security for a prison in the Fire Nation, you'd think there'd be some pretty nasty firebenders. Is this breath of fire to keep yourself warm a super high-level Iroh technique that only he and Zuko know?
It's the warden. Look alive.
I know why he's the warden. He can smell trouble. Look at this thing hanging off his face. There's not a crime committed within a 10-mile radius he can't sniff out.
No one has ever escaped from here. I'd sooner jump in the boiling lake myself than let that record fall. Don't forget it.
I've come in here to simply stunt on you and tell the audience about the prison's perfect record. And now I take my leave.
I'm afraid your father's not here.
What? Are you sure? Did you double check?
Yeah, I'm sure.
This is a goofy little scene, and Zuko makes a fool of himself, but it is the second time now we've seen him try to think of what Iroh would do. It's a more obvious version of him trying to fill Iroh's role here, but still, it's appreciated. It's nice that Zuko's ultimate view of a good guy is in fact his uncle.
But look! It's Suki!
So this prison is specifically for the most dangerous Fire Nation criminals, right? Next episode, it seems like there's a through line of leaders of factions getting sent here too, but if you ask me, this adds up to Suki actually giving Azula a pretty good scrap.
You mean you don't recognize me?
You people all look the same to me.
Oh? Then maybe you'll recognize this.
This is a direct callback to when Suki said the exact same line to Sokka back in the Serpent's Pass.
You mean you don't remember? Maybe you remember this. Mwah.
Suki! You won't be here for long. I'm busting you out.
I'm so glad to see you, Sokka. I knew you'd come.
This is really nice and all, and I like Suki a lot, and obviously Sokka is one of my favorite characters, but shit, Suki puts a lot of faith in a guy she's really only spent a handful of days with, maybe a week. Sure, they kissed before, but still, it's more likely foaming mouth guy would bust in and get you out.
Get him off me and arrest him!
I really like here that Sokka starts with like super small steps. I don't know why, but it really gets across the fact that he's really thinking here. Like his mind's going a mile a minute, like fuck, 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 fuck.
I never thought I'd find you in here, Prince Zuko.
How did you know who I am?
How could I not? You broke my niece's heart.
Oh, well, I mean, it could be that too.
If these criminals found out who you are, the traitor prince who let his nation down, why, they tear you to shreds.
Really? If I was being imprisoned, I don't know if my national pride would be all that high. I mean, you're being incarcerated by the country. I'd be like, fuck yeah, fuck the royals, consume the wealthy.
Actually, we met a long time ago.
We did?
Yeah, you kind of burned down my village.
Wow, sometimes the show just does the overanalyzing for me.
I heard you hatching an escape plan, and I went in.
The only thing we're hatching is an egg?
Can I offer you a nice egg in this trying time? Yeah, he's got an egg!
Okay, well, I come with you or the warden hears about this egg, too.
I guess we have no choice.
Okay, you're in.
I guess we have no choice. Come on!
Hey, you watch who you're shoving.
I think you mean whom I'm shoving.
No, you're messing it up, Chitsang. You're overanalyzing all wrong. You sound like me back in book 1, Jesus. Dude, what happens to the color in this one shot? Suddenly everyone's all gray for some reason? Everything else seems fine color-wise, but all the people in their clothes are gray? How does that happen?
I can take you back to your cell if you've learned your lesson.
It's just more really convenient stuff happening, right? Like, it's crazy that out of all the guards, Sokka's the one to go take Zuko back to his cell. Out of all of them, it just seems like everything lines up too easily in this episode. Yeah, and here's that super high-level tech that we saw Zuko use back in the North Pole once upon a time that I mentioned.
Nah, just the usual. Some robbers, couple traders, some war prisoners. Though I did hear there might be a pirate.
That's good.
And like, how in the world did this happen? They got this gigantic metal cylinder from the inside of the walls to the outside without anyone noticing or questioning anything? This is the biggest leap in logic out of all of them, and I can't ignore it. This is egregious.
This here's my girl and my best buddy. They're coming too.
Sokka didn't mention getting them out of their cells.
I got Suki and Chitsang out of their cells a few minutes ago.
And Sokka seems kind of annoyed that they're here, so how did they even get here?
If I had just cut my losses at the invasion, maybe we wouldn't be in this mess. Maybe sometimes it's just better to call it quits before you fail.
No, it's not.
Zuko speaks from experience, and the viewer knows that. Sokka has this personal little journey of redemption in this two-parter that's kind of an expedited version of Zuko's journey, with all of the second-guessing and plans changing and running into problems that his had. So him speaking frankly here, and not trying to fill Iroh's role necessarily, but just being himself and being honest, and still filling Iroh's role is awesome.
You have to try every time. You can't quit because you're afraid you might fail.
I'm not leaving without you, Sokka.
I'm staying too.
Not me, I'm out. Let's roll, baby. I can use this to battle.
We have new prisoners arriving!
More of these crazy harpoon ballistas that we see the Fire Nation use sometimes. I swear this is like the most powerful weapon in the entire world. If I was the Fire Lord, I would just make a bunch of these and rename ourselves to the Harpoon Ballista Nation. I think you'd have a better shot at winning the war if you just made 1 million of these. What the hell happened to Zuko? Everyone is kind of gray in this scene for some reason, but Zuko is lit entirely differently. And his scar is gray? What?
Dad.
This is actually the only episode that ends on a to be continued screen, which feels super weird. So this isn't the strongest episode in the show, I'll tell you that. Much like the Invasion two-parter, this two-parter is really paced out more like one long 45-minute episode. So not much happens in this one. Like, no big action scene at the end, it's a lot of setup. What it sets up is interesting, but unlike the Invasion, it doesn't really have the novelty of the star power that those episodes brought back to carry its first part. That, along with a lot of the really big leaps in logic, make this episode feel less thought out than a lot of other episodes. I do like Zuko trying to fill an Iroh role for Sokka. That's my favorite part of the episode, and honestly their dynamic of just being buddies is pretty fun too, but it's not enough to really carry this to being anything more than just pretty good. Patreon shoutouts: if you want to be 2 episodes ahead of the YouTube releases, you can support me on Patreon for just a few bucks. Link, as always, is in the description below the video. Biggest shoutouts of all go to my top patrons: Agent Rhino, who can make anything mini large. Minivan? No, that's a van. Brendan Murphy, who was actually only artificially alive on the internet. Donnie Snow, who rewrote the ending of Lost and everyone actually loved it. Dylan Calvo, who actually has the mental strength to believe it's not butter. Garrett Kane, last descendant of the praying mantis people that owned the earth before us. Jerry Kraft, who came up with the number 5. Genius, honestly. Fits perfectly right there between 4 and 6. Caitlin, who can snap as hard as that mantis shrimp thing at the bottom of the ocean. Kennedy Stapleton, heir to the Staples fortune, unsurprisingly. Leif Arnhammer, heir to the Hammer's fortune, surprisingly. Luke Herrera, who discovered a diamond mine within an emerald mine. Mandatory Sin, who took a grenade for his comrades and then just walked it off. Max Lewandowski, who I saw smoke an entire oregano plant in one pull. Omega Fighter, also known as the Mountain King. RCNFL, the guy that's in your dreams once in a while. Not the really good looking one. Well, I mean, he's kind of good looking, but he's not the really good looking one. Skylos, who is the only person who's graduated from Giga Harvard. Sky Strider, who can't help but be featured in every history book since the turn of the millennium. Tiago Nascimento, who upset a great white in a fish eating competition. Varunda, the last one you'd expect to be a centaur, but here we are. And Zoopy, who can kill a man in 20 different ways with anything found in your average 21st century murder emporium and knife shop. Other huge shoutouts go to my other fuck you money patrons: Burr, Buddha Jacker, Charlie Rock Quigley, Danger Shader, Daniel Ward, Emperor Tromedlov Drolmai, Eric Barney, etc., Finish Blood, Fritz Sullivan, Harrison Poland, Jared Berkman, John, Misha Boblov, Nopetron, Pran of Prem, Sean Martin, Soup Cube, The Sinking Bubble, and You Frickin' Nerd. And of course, my god overanalyzers: Alex Fritz, Alan Garvin, Ali QPZM, Andrew Watford, Austin Gallup, Be My Valentine, Big Thirsty, Brand Muffin, Cameron O'Solo, Canine Corpse, Charles Barnett, Dan Bertel, David Carlisle, DJ Jax, Do Mutual Aid, Dominic Saint, Distant, Earth 2 John, It's Curtin, Jacob Freese, Jake the Garden Rake, James Hamlin, Jay Lambo, Jeremy Rubenstein, Jimbo, John Ajaka, Jot Moreland, Joshua Bone, Justin Scott, Kadax, Keon Gilliland, Lady Serena, Lehman Russ, Literal NASA Rocket Scientist, Matthew Stargell, Mitchell Gobrecht, Mortius 007, Nickel Pickle 582, Nicholas Abbott, Omar, Papa Chaka, Parker, Back to the Basics Gas, Radiator Rat, Rocket Mist, Shadow Fox Nero, Sky Not Darkened, Spory, Steinwan, Super Snipper, Tiny Knight, Travis Chestnut, Triad Juice, Wilbur, Steady Paycheck Mode, and Wolfman Dan. Next up we have the Boiling Rock. Oh boy, I hope no one gets boiled, I guess.